What we are doing in the practice is making the conscious mind be a positive instrument for entering into the subconscious. So, in that sense, the mind is not the slayer of the soul, but when we use it that way, it's the opposite. The mind is only the slayer of the soul when it's involved in all kinds of unnecessary worries and thinking about the past, future, all of that, of course, then, it is the slayer. But if we can use it to direct our attention to the subconscious, and that is what the wish to grow is all about. We wish to grow, as Rudy developed that mantra. It's for the purpose of going into the subconscious. And the subconscious is our link to the deeper self. It's the link to the Akashic field. There is the oneness there, So how we relate to our subconscious is really, really significant. If you constantly have these voices inside you that say, well, I can't do that, I'm not good, I'm not the best, I'm not as good as I can be, I never get anything right, and all of that, then, you're going to contribute to making that a reality. So when the Buddhists say, be enlightened right now, start acting like you really are free and in touch with your deeper self. Start thinking like that by being able to not think if you need to. You can go into the stillness, you can use the wish, you can enter your subconscious and really have a positive impact on your inner state. If your mind is saying, oh, it's not a good thing, and why did this one do this to me? Why did this one do that? Why am I not this? Why am I not that? Why don't I have that? All of these things that go on and on and on and on forever. Anytime you hear that voice, it's our limited self talking, and we have to say no thank you. And we have to switch our attention from that to the stillness and to the ability to direct the attention through the energy flow and into the deeper self, into the subconscious. And I don't believe in, having a lot of very Indian words necessarily and constantly referring to any one Indian tradition, because it sort of tends to be like reading the Bible or something. And, I think it's easier, better to relate to this from a fresh, spontaneous experience of what we are talking about. And that is the ability all of us have to go directly into the subconscious. And may not happen, it doesn't happen immediately, whatever we're asking for, but by placing our conscious attention on it, wishing to grow, wanting to become one with this deeper awareness, it gradually moves us in that direction. The self with a capital S, it has a natural love for us. It has a natural tendency when it's awakened to support our growth. And why wouldn't it? This energy that is the core of our being has created our physical body and mental body and identity. Why wouldn't it continue to do what is best for us? But we have to let it. It doesn't always agree with our individual opinion about what is best for us. As you all know, our individual opinion might say, oh, it's great for me to do this or do that, but it actually might be the exact opposite of what is healthy for us and good for us in the long run. So, as I've said many times, it is a matter of investing in the eternal at the core of us, the infinity at the core of us eventually, the energy and the flow there, and then the infinity. And this is something that we can sense and taste. It has a real flavor, a real rasa, as it's said in India, for anything that has a spiritual flavor to it. That flavor is delicious, and it is life itself. It's the source of life. And it can be called bliss or whatever, but it is really a powerful thing to get in touch with. And you can also use, there was a book back in the 60s by a man named Joseph Murphy, which already talked very, very intelligently and deeply about working with your subconscious. It's an old classical text, but and he was a minister, I think, in Protestant, and a very studied and very intelligent guy. And this was a huge bestseller, and a lot of people used it for a lot of years. And you can, use very simple techniques for having a positive impact on your own subconscious. You can have a sense of gratitude and relate to your unconscious, subconscious from that point of view, and you're constantly relating, grateful for your connection with that deeper self. Or you can use affirmative statements, any kind of thing that you want to affirm. If you have a tendency to be this or that isn't really working for you, affirm the positive, what you are wishing to grow into and manifest. And of course, it can be used for very practical things, and it has an impact on all of those things. You can visualize. Let's say you get very nervous if you're going to talk in public. Visualize yourself in front of the people talking in public, and that everything is okay, and they are just people like you, and there's nothing to worry about. Then you have already gone through it inside yourself, by the time you actually do it. So there are many ways of working with your subconscious tendencies so that you counteract them. And, for health, you can use it for your health. It may not have a miraculous cure, overnight, but at least you're setting yourself in a positive direction by visualizing that your health is better and talking to your subconscious, talking to your inner self, wishing. And then, it sets you in motion towards healing. You're using your own inner healing power. And this is not something that you guys don't know. You are doing it already, but I'm just saying it as a way of reminding you that, you have all this power. We all have all this power. I mean, we really can make that kind of thing happen.